pain. I got my heart off your leash, but you still infect my brain. So now I'm running round in circles, cause I can't forget the pain. Like 1,000 shiny daggers every time I hear your name. Though I have to get control of my body and my soul. I pick my heart off the floor like I had you twice before. Should have cared a little less, we should have loved a little more. Now we both regret the past as we're walking out the door, because hearts ain't smart, they're built for fools. Fall apart and let you break all your rules. It'll make you choose between a bottle and the blues. But my heart can't seem to forget about. Can't seem to forget about you. Can't forget about you. All right, Vikings fans, welcome into the Vikings pregame show here on the Scene Project Sports Network. We are so excited to have you guys in today. Looking forward to some great football action. With me, as always, my co-host, Coach Cody. Welcome back, brother.
How we doing? Another day, another Sunday.
Yeah, well, we're happy to be here, right? If we can't be celebrating good football, at least we got good company, Coach.
Yeah, that's for sure. I almost didn't make it today.
No, you didn't. You didn't. You've had an eventful weekend. Sometimes getting out of the driveway can be the hardest part, right?
Yeah, gotta love them city plows.
Sometimes they do a better job of plowing you in than plowing you out.
Oh yeah. I'm waiting for the salt truck to come now. I got some bald tires, so it made it tough to even get up the hill to my driveway.
Oh, I'm sure a lot of people in Minnesota can relate right now. We got a little bit of snow down here in South Dakota, but nothing what it looks like y'all got up there. Speaking of snow, you were out at the game yesterday watching the Gophers play the Badgers. That looked like an incredible experience.
Yeah, my first time at a Gopher game. I've been to TCF Bank, Huntington, a couple times for other events, but this was the first time for a Gopher game, and for it to be, for the Paul Bunyan Axe, huge rivalry against Wisconsin, that was huge, and we came out with the dub, keeping the Axe home, so everything worked out.
Yeah, well, at least one Minnesota football team can get a win this weekend.
Yeah, no kidding. Hopefully another one coming today.
The odds are not looking good for the Vikings today. An 11.5 point underdog, which is a massive margin. But there are some things to be, watching the game for. Obviously, we're going to see Max Brosmer take over under center today. I hope he gets under center. I've had enough of shotgun football, but that's KOC for you.
Yeah.
I'd like to see him run the ball, but we're going to get into a lot of that. Obviously, last weekend was a disappointing loss up in Green Bay. I know you rewatched the tape, and I mean, what did you see? What were your takeaways from last week's game? Obviously, not a lot of good to go from, but what were your takeaways from last week's game before we talk about this big one with Seattle today?
I mean, we started out with the run, and it was working. We went away from it. At halftime, it was still a game, and we had a lot of missed tackles. We couldn't stop the run. I feel like their running backs were popping off for 4 or 5 a clip each time, and that's something that we're going to have to fix this week desperately, because we're facing 2 huge running backs. But just mental errors that special teams error. Like, you got to get out of the way. You got to get out of the way. There has to be some kind of call, whether it's yelling Peter, get out of the way. That was huge. I feel like that was the turning point in the game. Really just killed all momentum that we had.
No doubt. And not just killed your own momentum, but you gave the Packers the ball inside of the 10, and it was pretty much over. And I think that more than the team, it killed KOC because you were running the ball well in the first half. You were, it was opening up the play action. You saw JJ make a couple of great throws. Not great, maybe good throws. The one over top of the defender to Justin Jefferson there, that was the progress you were hoping to see. And then I feel like you come out, you get a stop on defense, the special teams turns it over, and immediately you give up the touchdown and go down 2 scores. It was 9 points, right? It wasn't insurmountable, but I feel like KOC kind of has it was all shotgun from there on. I think we had 2 rushing attempts in the second half. Now, obviously, as the game starts to get more and more out of control, but I just don't see a reason why you couldn't come back out, even after giving up that touchdown, recommit yourself to the running game and go. And obviously, everyone's hypercritical of JJ McCarthy, and it hasn't looked good. I'm not bailing the young man out here, but as a coach, you have to do what's best for your team and best for your young quarterback. And I just don't feel like Kevin O'Connell has done that this season. Now he has another young quarterback behind the line, a very depleted offensive line now as well, with no Darisaw or Jackson starting in this game. You'd really like to see them commit to the running game and taking pressure off of number 12 today.
Yeah, no, taking pressure off number 12 is going to be extremely crucial. Getting his first NFL start. He is a little older. Was he 24, 25? So he's got more playing experience than JJ coming in. Played at multiple different levels. I like what I saw from him at the University of Minnesota. Small sample size, 1 year, but still, it was enough to get him on the practice squad in a tryout for the Vikings and then land on the team. So obviously he's doing something right. Offensive line, I feel like we're beating a dead horse with this, but, is Darisaw going to play the whole game? How healthy are they? We can't go away from the run. Seattle knows that it's Brosmer's first start. They're going to come with the heat, and they're going to dial up some pressure, early downs. And, the middle of the field is going to be our best friend. I feel like they got Seattle's got some linebackers that are hurt. The ones that they do have, though, they're stepping up. So we just got to challenge them. But just play smart, play within his skill set, and just be patient. We got to be patient with this one.
Yeah, and I think a lot of Vikings fans saw enough in that Tennessee Titans preseason game to feel better about going with Max Brosmer. And a lot of people have been calling for this for weeks now, right? As JJ's play has just been it's been a dumpster fire. There's no sugarcoating it. It has been historically bad. And even if your coach isn't helping, you have to be better as a player. He's just not processing the game fast enough, which probably comes from the lack of experience. And without getting too far into the weeds about, why he was selected where he was, at the end of the day, you have to live up to that as a player. And JJ was just not able to do that. So now with Max, I feel like as an undrafted rookie, the expectation shouldn't be too high, but I think you have to expect that he comes out and is able to run the offense at least efficiently. Like I said, the guy probably if he gets 200 yards, has a touchdown and a pick, I think Vikings fans are clamoring for him to be the starter the rest of the year, regardless of injury.
Most definitely. I was one of those that was hoping to see Max Brosmer, when JJ got hurt that first time over in London. And, had to be patient. We're gonna have to be patient with this one. Like I said, if he throws for that, there's gonna be huge questions. If he does good, that's great. We finally found a quarterback that has got, a hold of the offense, or at least shown some potential. But then, you go back to it, and you and I spoke on this earlier in the week, but, then you wasted a first round pick on a quarterback. So it is what it is. But,
and I wonder, Coach, how much the business side of this and not devaluing the pick that you did make, because teams are always struggling for quarterbacks. And even if you don't believe that JJ was worthy of that pick, at the end of the day, he still has value because of where he was selected in that process to another team that maybe was kind of high on him. Maybe they wouldn't have selected him 10th overall or traded up for it, right? Like maybe there's not that pick made, but you're hoping to get something out of him. If he's not going to be the quarterback of the Minnesota Vikings next year or on the roster, then if you're talking about like you're not going to cut him, right? Like,
right? No, you're not going to give him away.
Value. Well, and I wonder if that's coming into it. If you outright benched him right now, you tanked the value of that player moving forward. And that has to be in the back of the GM and their, front office's mind as you're moving forward. If you're telling the world that an undrafted rookie is more valuable to your team and gives you a better chance to win outright, not because of injury, over your number 10 pick 2 years ago, then you might as well cut him at that point, because what are you going to get? A 6th or a 7th round pick for him? There's just no value there. When coming to the end of the season, there's plenty of other teams that are in quarterback hell that would maybe give up a 2nd round, a high 3rd, a 3rd round pick for this guy. You're playing a different game now. It's not about wins and losses with this team anymore. You're probably better off losing, as much as as fans, we don't want to watch crappy football. But at the end of the day, it's still a business, and you have to be thinking about the long-term ramifications of this team. You are all but statistically eliminated from playoff contention right now. I know they're still putting us in the hunt on the graphic. I think a lot of us can be real about where we're at in the process right now and ready to start looking to the draft. This team's got a lot more problems than just quarterback. And I think all of that has been exposed over the course of the last 12 weeks.
Yeah, a lot to unpack there. Yeah, I mean, it is a business at the end of the day, a multi-billion, trillion-dollar industry, and so you got to make money, and money's got to be the bottom line, but you also have to put out a good product on the field. And so, you got to find that happy medium. That's just what you broke down right there, with the value of JJ McCarthy. That's gold right there, because that's a headache all in itself to try to unwrap. And that's why I don't get paid the big bucks to do that yet. But
well, and I don't think a lot of fans think of all of those things, right?
No, not at all.
Obviously want to show up and to have that. You want to have a good product. You want to win football games. Fans don't want to pay the amount of money that we pay to go to these games to watch a quarterback that they just don't believe in right now. But the front office, I mean, best case scenario for them, JJ stays in concussion protocol the rest of the year, and you don't have the controversy. I mean, let's be honest about what Kwesi and his front office are thinking right now. But we're not here to get into all. We had a whole offseason to talk about that stuff. Let's get into the game, Coach, and get into your keys to the game here. Controlling that run game. You talked about that two-headed monster and keeping them off the field. We got to tackle. I was so unimpressed, especially with a guy like Van Ginkel's tackling last week in Green Bay. We ended up just letting that team run all over us. We can't have that same mentality today. Pressuring Sam Darnold and disrupting the timing of that passing offense. JSN's having a massive season this year, looking to break some records, and winning on special teams, supporting your rookie. Just like no special teams guffaws today, as we've seen time and time again from this team now. We really need just solid play across the board. So let's unpack it one at a time here, Coach. Or, oops, I might have misrepresented these. Oh, here we go. Key one. That Seattle run game is stopping the momentum early.
Yeah, Seattle's run game. I mean, Kenneth Walker and Zach Charbonnet, they got their own little version of a two-headed monster over there. Kenneth Walker is your speed, catching the ball out of the backfield. They both can, actually, but Zach Charbonnet is basically their short yardage, goal line back, and they use them both perfectly, in my opinion. I was rewatching that game, Seattle against Titans last week, and just the way they use that run, a couple swing passes to the backs, they're doing play action to the tight ends, and then hitting JSN, Smith and Njigba over the top twice, almost three times. So that the run, just stopping the run is going to be huge. If we can stop the run, that frees up our defense, and just we definitely can't have depend on our defensive backs to cover for 5+ seconds today. They had huge wide receivers, impact makers, even Cooper Kupp, Raheed Shaheed, a couple of their tight ends. I'm blanking on the names right now, but Cooper Kupp, even if he's not, affecting the game, catching the ball, he's a heck of a run blocker. And Sam Darnold, he needs that. He needs that run game to make himself comfortable, to get himself time. Because if he doesn't have that time, he's completely different. But we have to stop that running game. We can't be giving up 4 or 5 yards a carry. We have to tackle. It's just, it's going to be the key to today.
Coach, do you think this team is capable of tackling?
I mean, we should be able to. I don't know what the deal is.
I just see so many. I mean, Harrison Smith's been doing it for a long time, but so many guys now just want to throw the shoulder in, and that's just not going to take down these heavy running backs, right? It's not going to eliminate some of these guys that keep their feet. A Charbonnet, Brandon Jacobs was a great example last week of why you can't do it. You have to wrap up. You got to take these guys down to the ground.
Yeah, I don't know what the whole hype is on just throwing that shoulder. I don't know why people are just going away from wrapping up. Just trying to make that big play or that big hit. Just make the tackle at this point. That's all I care about. Just get them down.
Yeah, it hurt last week watching the yards after contact that they're able to wrap up, and it's going to be awful if that's what this Minnesota defense is trying to, like. We need the defense to step up so big in this game. How about forcing a turnover? What is it now? 6 games without an interception. It's just, I think we have 9 turnovers forced on the year after like a historic turnover rate last year with the defense. I mean, that's another big thing that I think a lot of fans aren't taking. So many people look at the 14 wins last year and like, oh, it was all Sam Darnold, who we're going to get a heavy dose of today on the other side of the ball. And look, he was getting a lot of short fields. They are getting a lot of quick changes, momentum changes. And it's gotta be better. It's got to be better today. Or, I mean, they're already giving us no chance. If we have any shot of winning, it's got to come from the defensive side of the ball.
Yeah, defense has to step it up. I said last week too, there has to be some changes. So how can we go from, with that many turnovers last year to just, we can't even buy one, we got to force something, and this week will be a good opportunity to. We all know Sam Darnold, if he starts seeing ghosts, we could have a heyday.
I want to bring in another special guest into the show. We got Sir Rocker from the VWO. We're going to bring him on. Hey, brother, how you doing?
Hey, how's it going, you guys? Happy game day.
How we doing?
Not too bad. Yeah, I just got up to Ames, Iowa, to the Ames American Legion, and when we have a road games, that's kind of where we have a gathering of Vikings fans, and we like to watch the game with a bunch of veterans that have served and a bunch of diehard Vikings fans that love this team. So it's going to be about another, hour and a half or whatever, 2 hours before the kickoff. But I had the pleasure and distinct pleasure of having Bubba down a couple weeks ago at the VWO tailgate when we did our salute to service, and we honored 8 veterans that have served, and actually 9. One of them was posthumously from the Vietnam War, and got to meet Bubba. Just a wonderful person. I love what he does with the Vikings. I love what he does with the veteran community, with veteran suicide and everything. So I'm extremely honored to be on here with you, to be on Coach, Bubba. You guys, wonderful thing you guys are doing. So thank you for having me on.
Yeah, well, and we know you have a sports show of your own as well. You have the Valhalla Hour on the Huddle Sports Network. So looking forward to a lot of crossover with you guys in the future too. I love these kind of fan-centric and fan-driven content and just talking sports. And we kind of want this show to have that tailgate feel and to give us something to do and a place to vent our frustrations and celebrate the wins. And obviously a lot more of the former this season. But hey, Sir Rocker, can we get you to stick around? We're going to go through some more of Coach Cody's keys to the game.
Absolutely. I will be here. I will be here.
Awesome. Well, let's move on. We were talking about that rushing attack and stopping the rushing attack from them. But key too is getting some pressure on Sam Darnold as well. Coach, take it away here and give us some of your keys.
Sam Darnold, a familiar face. Yeah, I mean, he's been around the league, seen plenty of defenses, but he's still Sam Darnold. And he's still going to make mistakes. We got to force some pressure on him. We got to get pressure up front. It starts with the big boys up in on the defensive line. Brian Flores has to dial up something. Sam was with us last year, so he's seen some of what Flores has. But Brian Flores is, he's not considered one of the best defensive-minded coaches for nothing. So I feel like we got a couple of dialed up blitzes that he hasn't seen before that we're going to give him. And if we win up front, collapse the interior pocket, making them uncomfortable, our defense probably could find that first interception in what feels like years.
Do you think their familiarity with Darnold gives the advantage to the Vikings defense, or do you think it's the other way around, that Darnold's familiarity with the Vikings defense is an advantage to Seattle and Sam Darnold today?
I would say I would lean more towards advantage towards the defense. We've seen him. We know his strengths and weaknesses. Like I said, with Flores and our personnel, there's no reason why we can't come up with something, to completely just get them, confused and start hooking that thing up to us. He will throw that ball up, and not all of those passes are pretty. So we got a good chance.
All right. Have they come out with the game day, who's in and who's out yet on this game? I wasn't keeping up on it.
I'm trying to look it up right now on my laptop.
Well, and I know they don't have to declare it until right before the game. So Jonathan Grenard was questionable. Darisaw as well. I don't see Darisaw playing. He's pulled himself out of most of these games with everything being pretty much I'd say done for the season. I wonder if he doesn't just shut it down if there's anything. Now they're saying knee. So that's interesting to me that it was listed as the knee again, because when he came out of the game, it was for a foot injury, they said last Sunday. But then on the injury report here, it's showing up as the knee again. So Grenard listed as questionable. It'd be nice to see him because that totally changes what the defense can do. You know, Dallas Turner's a great young player, but you know, some holes in his game still and some limitations on that end.
Yeah, no, they'll probably not bring out those the starting lineups until probably another hour or so. But I'd love to see Grenard on the field. That's a good point that you bring up about Darisaw. You know, just with the injury, you know, having it be a foot and now it's the knee, that's kind of a red flag right there. But, you know, I would love to see him out there, even if it's not the whole game, but, you know, just get out there. You got to get reps. I mean, we got to get a rapport with this offensive line, even if it's not for this year, for next year, if we decide to keep the same core. But hopefully we draft a couple. We'll see.
Rob, any insights? Yeah, go ahead.
So I alluded to this yesterday when we did our noon show on our 8 o'clock show. One of the biggest things that I think we might have miscalculated on when we were building the defense this year, specifically in free agency, is we were used to kind of playing with the lead last year, and Brian Florence's I can't even talk. Brian Flores's defense is actually set to excel. You know, if we have a tie game or somewhat of a lead and everything, the one thing that we're still not very good at is run stuffing and run blocking. And you bring in Jonathan Allen, you bring in Javon Hargrave and everything, great at putting pressure and collapsing the line, but I'm still not seeing as to where we're able to stop anybody from running up the middle when it's a 3rd and short situation or a 4th down and a yard to go. That's what I would like to see improve, because we have got to be able to get those stops today. I think the key is we have to stop their run game, and then we also have to stick with ours, especially with a rookie, Max Brosmer. I think I read he is going to be the first Golden Gopher quarterback to start an NFL game. You know, it's paramount that we get things going. And it doesn't even need to be just a straight rush. I mean, it can be a screen pass or a toss in the backfield to Aaron Jones, but I think Aaron Jones is very paramount on this. The disappointing thing with Allen Hargrave is they're not doing what they need to do. Jalen Redmond was a jewel that we found last year. I mean, he is doing an amazingly good job. And you see Levi Drake Rodriguez get put in there, in my opinion, does a lot better all around at the run than what Jonathan Allen or Javon Hargrave is doing. It's very concerning to me that we can't stop people on short yardage on 3rd and 4th down. And that just keeps our defense on the field longer. It tires them out. A lot of it has to do with the fact that we can't get any kind of production on offense right now to extend our own drives and go down and actually get touchdowns, not field goals. So I will concede that part. But I need to see something out of those guys today. I mean, we paid them a lot of money, and I'm talking about Jonathan Allen and Javon Hargrave. I need to see some run stuffing. I need to see some stops. And I'm not sure what is going on this year with the linebacking core. I mean, Blake Cashman was injured for a while. He's back. Blake Cashman is great. I love the guy. I want him to be a Viking for a long time. But Ivan Pace Jr. seemed like he fell off the face of the planet. In fact, even after he got back healthy, there was one game where there was a soft benching with him, and all they did was play special teams, and Eric Wilson was out there. They need to get that together to augment that run stuff, too. I don't know what has been going on. I do know the biggest difference is we're playing from behind this year, whereas in the past 2 years, we've had either a tied game or a lead, and that does make a difference. I'm not a coach. I'm not an expert like what you guys are. That's just what I'm seeing from my perspective as a vested fan and somebody that follows the game. But I do think there's some truth in there, and I do feel like B-Flow and KOC need to adjust things accordingly. And then on the offensive side of the ball, let's stop that play action stuff. I don't care if it's JJ McCarthy, Max Brosmer, whatever. These guys are having a hard time, especially when you turn your back and turn around. You got somebody, a quarter of a second away from sacking you. Let's do some straight drop backs. I don't think we've hit a slant pass all year to anybody. Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison, TJ Hawkinson, Naylor. Let's simplify this and give these guys a chance to do what we need to do. We have a good running stable with Jones and with Jordan Mason. Let's give this kid starting his first game a chance to be able to find Hawkinson and Addison and Naylor and Justin Jefferson on some slants. I don't like the trickery. I don't like the complexity of what we're doing right now, if that makes any kind of sense. Sorry if I was long-winded.
Well, that's part of KOC's MO too, are these long developing plays, and play action only works if people are afraid of you running the ball. And right now teams are not. You could see it from Green Bay last week, is as soon as you were down by 2 scores, you came out and that first 3 and out, shotgun. You didn't even try to run the ball at them, which was really the only thing you were having success doing in the first half. And then you're able to set up these plays. Like, nobody is scared of you running the ball because KOC will just not commit to it. And I think that the tape is out on him. Teams know this. Even if you have a great stable of running backs, your coach, who is the play caller, is not going to do it. And the system that he runs are all of these long developing plays and move. Like, it just takes so long. And with inexperience under center, those are really hard to pull off because it takes a little bit of moxie back there to make some of these work, right? But yeah, I mean, Micah Parsons just destroyed KOC's game plan last week. That second half was embarrassing. I know everybody's putting it on the kid, but it comes down to play calling. It is your job as the head coach and the offensive play caller to make what you have work. And if you can't trust the kid, then you need to do it. And you can't put all of this game now onto Max Brosmer, because the last thing you want is to come out, Max looks like crap today, and the season just totally falls apart. Fans stop showing up, and you have everyone up in arms. I mean, that's what leads to people losing their jobs, right? And I think that, as much as the Wilfs love KOC, maybe a little less so on Kwesi, if you have a PR nightmare going forward for the rest of the season because you have no quarterback, you are in serious trouble as a franchise, and that would be a big problem. Yeah, and I love this comment from our guy, kneecap biting with Smoking Jim.
Jeremy's a good friend of ours. He's on our podcast. He actually writes for a Lions column in a Florida newspaper. So yes, he does follow all the North, and Jeremy's a great guy.
Right. And how long has it been since Aaron Jones scored a touchdown in the red zone? How long has it been since we've even seen the red zone? I feel like the offense the last few weeks has only been Will Reichard, who's coming up here in key 3 as well. Like, that's been our only offense. We haven't scored a whole lot of touchdowns. I mean, the Bears game, you had a Jordan Mason run, I'm pretty sure that went in, but that was from outside the 20s as well, outside the 20 as well. So yeah, it's kind of embarrassing to watch this offense right now, unfortunately for Vikings fans. And it's bad on offense when you're talking about the special teams as one of your keys to the game.
Well, you almost have to talk about it, Bubba, because almost every single game and almost every single return, Miles Price is out there, kicking ass. He's even had a 99-yard touchdown erase because there's a penalty every stinking time. It's a problem.
Yeah, Miles Price has been some of your brightest points and two or three of your darkest moments this year on special teams. So, Coach, go ahead and take it away and give us some of the keys to this.
Yeah, special teams is going to be huge. Like you pointed out just a little bit ago, I can't even remember the last time we saw the red zone. Will Reichard coming up huge when we need him. He seems like the only bright spot. Our punter too. He's been coming up quick. With some huge plays, just flipping the field. But yeah, Price. This game is going to be one. I feel like he's going to bust one out. Tennessee was able to get a kick return for a touchdown last week, and Seattle special teams just doesn't pop off the page to me. Let's see if lightning can strike twice, and let's get a kick return for a touchdown today. At the very least, don't fumble the ball, don't muff it. Other than that, our special teams has been one of the only bright spots. So,
Will Reichard's going to set a record for most 50-plus yard field goals in a season,
honestly,
because we can't get the ball out there. Oh, it's so sad. It's so sad that the season that started with so much hope has come to this.
I know it. But lastly, we just got to stay patient with Max Brosever, rookie quarterback. Run the football consistently using short passes, slants, like you said. Use that middle of the field. Just give our players a chance. Let's see. I think that the play action could work, but you made up a good point. Like, especially with a rookie quarterback, you got maybe a second or two, you turn your back and boom, there's a guy right there. That's, so I actually want to take that out, just stay away from the play action. But keeping them out of obvious passing downs is going to be helpful. And, running the ball is going to help that out. So, I'm hopeful for the kid. I got nothing but respect for him. Met him a couple times, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah, Coach, I've got a question for you, and I want to circle back real quick to JJ McCarthy. So when it comes to this whole concept of everything, we've seen a lot of things where it's very high percentage passing downs. It's just he receives a snap, it's a quick out, and he just blatantly misses. I mean, like just horribly misses, like by 10 feet or whatever. What should be like a 90% completion passing play to Justin Jefferson or Addison or Jones or whatever, just to hit him, behind the line of scrimmage and everything, just to advance the ball. I want to go a little bit deep on this. You see JJ McCarthy with his pregame rituals, and he's out there. It wasn't Tom Pelissero, it was Kevin Seifert from ESPN had a video of him out on the field in Green Bay 3 hours before, pacing around, in his head, doing all this stuff. And he does his meditation stuff by the goalposts, by the bench, everything. Is it possible that JJ McCarthy just got too far inside of his head because of all the pressure on the young man this year and everything, and he's just overthinking everything? And this is just coming from a military leader aspect. I mean, I served for 29 years in the U.S. Army. I've done all sorts of things at the tactical and strategic level. Leadership is leadership. It doesn't matter, whether it's in the Army, whether it's in, a high level football game or things that you've coached that much better than I do, everything. But is it possible that he has psyched himself out and he just needs to relax and just chill, stop trying to do this over preparation? Because if there's one thing that I've noticed when we're doing strategic level military planning, the wargaming phase of military planning, it's called MDMP. I'm not going to get into all this other stuff, but part of it is wargaming, and you can take courses of action and you compare 2 or 3 of them. If you go on long enough, you can talk yourself out of basically doing anything because of risk mitigation, etc. You do have to pick a plan sooner or later. You have to assume a certain level of risk, and you have to just go out and execute it. It may not be perfect. You have to adapt and adjust as things happen because, no plan ever survives first contact with the enemy. That's also true with football game plans, right? Mm-hmm. Is it possible he has psyched himself out so bad, just being in his own head, that he's made himself ineffective on the field? And what can Max Brosmer do to not do the same type of thing. It looks good and it briefs well and it looks great in the media if you over prepare, but it also can be detrimental because at some point in time you have to have confidence and you have to rely on your abilities that you've been coached and you've been trained to do and your natural physical abilities. I just feel the kid psyched himself out of starting. I mean, yes, he's injured, he's got a concussion, I get it, but there's some things going on that's way deeper than just the game here. And from a coach's perspective, I'm interested to know your thoughts on my theory here, if that holds any water, or if it's just, me being a dude looking in, at what could be going wrong, because he's better than that. I mean, he's still a rookie, but what do you think on the mental aspect of what has transpired with him here?
Most definitely. Like you said, I think he did psych himself out. Just, having the pressure of being, a high draft pick. Everybody talking about you. Now conversations are coming out comparing him to Jamarcus Russell. So there's a lot of pressure and a lot of outside noise, and you got to be able to shut that out. At the end of the game, you're just playing the football. You're just playing the sport that you've been playing for your whole life. You don't have to make it any more complicated than that. A lot of people just, they wait. They want to do something and they have to wait for the right time. I'm going to wait until this happens and then I'll do this. Or they're waiting for that perfect moment. You got to just go and do it. Like you said, you're going to deal with some bumps along the road, but that's where you learn and grow. For Max Brosmer, I don't think he's going to have to deal with that as much because he, undrafted free agent. He doesn't have any people don't expect much from him coming out right away. But I think JJ definitely did psych himself out. Some of it. The meditation, I meditate, and that helps me. But some of the stuff, I just feel like it's just for show.
Yeah. And
go ahead.
Well, and I was going to say that, when he's playing in college, he's playing under one of the biggest personalities in professional sports, right?
Mm-hmm.
That wasn't JJ McCarthy's championship team. That was Jim Harbaugh's team, right?
Correct.
There's a big difference between somebody like that and probably what Max was asked to do with the Gophers last year and now coming in, right? None of the expectations, a lot more experience that he's bringing to the table. Like you said, he's a little bit older. He's kind of been through it. He's ridden through the transfer portal. He's had to deal with a lot more mentally than a JJ McCarthy ever has in his life. Now, JJ's dealing with a lot of adversity this year. And I mean, he's on the team next year. I don't think because of the value and things we were alluding to earlier, Coach, that he's on this team. And I think they're more than likely what you're going to see is a competition moving into next year. Can a guy like JJ learn from this? You've worked with a lot of young players who have dealt with adversity. I think a lot of fans are just writing the kid off and he doesn't have it, but he's also 22 years old and he did not play any football last season. And I think that's a lot bigger issue than people are going to give you credit for. Yes, you're a football player in the National Football League and you were a 10 overall pick, all the expectations there. But this kid did not play football, didn't just not play on the field, was injured and could not play. And I think that's exactly what he looked like. And then the no preseason. I don't understand the not playing this guy who needs the reps, not playing him in the preseason. Unless KOC saw things that he did not want to put on tape early. And it speaks to a lot of stuff going. Like, I would love to have conversations with some of these front office people and some of these coaches, off the record to get a feeling for what it is. And I love this comment. I love when our fans chime in. I mean, that is a bold statement from Dano here. The guy's played one snap in the NFL.
Right.
He has one snap. Can he come out there and prove it today? And to be him, like I said, he doesn't even need to do a lot. If he throws for 200 yards today, has a touchdown and a pick, and the Vikings lose 30-13, everyone is going to be wanting to see more Max Brosmer over getting JJ McCarthy back on the field. Like, he does not have to come out and light the world on fire to give this fan base something to root about and to cause a lot of controversy in the Twin Cities come tomorrow morning.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think this, a benching is good, or it will be good for JJ. I think back to what Washington did with Jaden Daniels. They benched him. He came back, and he seemed like a completely different quarterback towards the end of the year last year. Now he's hurt this year, but just a benching. Just hey, ish isn't sweet over here. You still have to work for it. Everything's not going to be handed down to you, or handed to you. So I definitely think it's going to work out in his favor and be a positive. And I definitely agree with you. I think he's on the team next year. It's going to be a quarterback battle. Kwesi's already under fire for some of the picks that he's made. And if we were to get rid of JJ this quick, that's him admitting that he messed up again. And, then there's going to be even more conversations happening about him. So,
Yeah, just to point out Jair's comment here, I don't think anyone in Minnesota expected it, buddy. That's why you're seeing a lot of sad faces wearing purple this season.
Right.
The expectation, but that's also on the team. The team set that expectation, right? Not just with the 14 wins last year, but they went on in the offseason, said, we're going to spend big money, which I don't think was good money. And they set the expectation of, we are going for a championship this year. And I don't feel like there was a plan at all. And you alluded to military planning earlier, Rob. There was no plan for what happens if everything goes wrong. Right? It's the old Mike Tyson quote, like, everybody has a plan until they get punched in the mouth. And I feel like we got punched, not just in the mouth, but right below the belt early. And there was no answer. There was no answer at all. And there was no one coming to help. And that kind of alludes to what you were just talking about with Kwesi's other picks. Where are they? Where is the replenishment of talent that should be coming along? It doesn't necessarily mean that everyone should be starters now, but your second and third stringers should be full of this talent that you've been drafting in these later rounds. And a lot of these early rounds haven't necessarily hit either. There's already talk of Kwesi not being around next year. I don't know, if the front office has the stomach to go through a change like that. I don't think they're letting go of KOC. Now, that's to be seen. Like I said, if you have a QB controversy or Brosmer comes in and the offense still looks terrible, there may be people calling for KOC's job by the end of this season as well. And a year after winning the coach of the year, that sounds crazy, even coming out of my mouth right now. But this season has become such a PR nightmare for this team that you have to wonder, how far does it go? Because I don't think anyone has the stomach for a full teardown and rebuild, which is what you're heading to if people aren't able to make moves on the fly right now. Look, Hawkinson is burnt toast at this point, man. He's awful. He's awful out there. People saying he's a top 10 tight end still. Like, what have you been watching? He was a tight 10 top end, right? He was a top 10 tight end in years past, but he is so slow now. He's ineffective in your passing or in your running game, or even chipping in the passing game because he's so much slower now. This team regressed a lot more in the players than I thought anyone. I think they felt from the front office through the locker room that they kind of had it in the bag, when really they overachieved because of a historic defensive performance last year. And you got to reap the rewards of that. To think that's going to be the same year after year without putting the work in the off season and through the season, you have to kind of shake your head at what everyone was thinking.
Yeah.
Right. And it's one of those things as to where I was ecstatic at first that we finally, for the first time in over a decade, put money into the offensive line. I thought going into the season, we finally did the things we should have been doing for the past 10 years. And then turns out everybody's injured. Last week was the first time our supposed starting offensive line on paper actually played a full snap together, which, I mean, that right there says a whole hell of a lot.
What did they play? One snap
French.
together, Rob?
Yeah.
Right. And then you look at things and it's like, okay, look at how many people are in our prime right now. So Justin Jefferson is in his prime. Hawkinson's at the end of his prime. Darisaw is in his prime. O'Neill's at the end of his prime. You know, Jordan Mason's in his prime. Aaron Jones is on rented time. He's at the end of his career. You know, and then you look at defense and everything. We haven't drafted an actual effective cornerback in years. We're playing the free agency game with corners. These linebackers we got. Cashman is probably entering his prime. You know, Ivan Pace. Who the hell knows what went wrong with him? You know, you look at all of this, and then we're screwing around, and we don't have a quarterback to play a game, and that's why it's justifiable. I seen this morning on the NFL thing with Stephen A. and all that. Everybody's all the Vikings wasting Justin Jefferson, blah blah blah. It's like Addison's entering his prime. You know, Naylor's entering his prime. Do we need to do something? Yes, but there was a myriad of things that just went wrong. You know, this year. I don't know if it's that much miscalculation, but when you sit here and you made the point, Bubba, what are we doing with these draft picks? You know, Ty Felton, drafted third round. I think it was number 102 overall. He's had 18 snaps, 0 catches. That's a third round pick. You know, what are we doing? What is Kwesi doing with this stuff? And why are we doing what we're doing? It's just uber frustrating as a fan sitting here watching this. You know, but then again, you know, you look at Tyrion Ingram Dawkins, you know, when he's had a chance to come in, and our pass rushing is rather loaded, but we've also been injury ridden with Van Ginkel and with Grenard with the stars. You know, Dallas Turner's come in. He's had his moments. He's also had moments he probably wish he had back. You know, I mean, it's kind of 50-50. What are we doing here? You know, I agree. Kwesi's drafting is freaking awful, and that's one of the biggest reasons why we're in the position we're in right now.
Well, there's going to be accountability for this team. Somebody's heads are going to roll, whether it's at the top or it's scouting department or who it is, that's to be seen. But we got to get to our player to watch today. And I mean, who else could it be besides Max Brosmer at this point? I mean, there's really only one player that's out there that everybody wants to see and someone to cheer for right now. Coach, did you say you've met Max a couple of times?
A couple times, just in passing, you know, just a couple words, but didn't get a chance to have an actual conversation. But I mean, just off that, you know, small sample size, he was, I gained a lot of respect for him. You know, just the fact he took the time, because he was busy getting between practices and stuff. But just taking the time to, you know, just say, hey, you know, meant a lot, you know, and showed a lot. But, you know, I'm excited for him. I actually saw a couple of Max Brosmer Vikings jerseys yesterday at the Gopher game. So I was kind of jealous. I wanted to know where they were at and how I can get one. So, but real quick, going back to that Kwesi, I believe the only reason why he's still around is because of how, you know, the luck he's had with the free agents. I hate the fact that we haven't that we're doing this cornerback carousel with the free agents as well. But yeah, I don't think he's going to be back next year. If the free agents that he signed this year don't show any you know, potential of the value that we've signed him for, yeah, he's going to be gone. But Max Brosmer, I'm excited. I'm going to be glued to the TV. I got to work, but TV's going to be on while I'm working, most definitely.
Yeah, I think all of SKOL Nation is looking forward to seeing Max out on the field. And I've just kind of been playing devil's advocate, is like, well, what if it still looks awful? Right? Like I want it to be good. I'm tired of watching bad football and listening to bad football like I will be today. I'm traveling during game time, so I won't be watching, but I will be listening to Paul Allen's call on KFAN, and which is almost better, especially when it's like, because the man's going to give it to you real and not sugarcoat things. So looking forward to listening today. And like I said, Max doesn't have to be perfect. I don't think anyone the Vikings faithful, I guess, are expecting a win today. No one on the national stage is expecting this team to win. You really only need Max to come out and perform admirably. I said pedestrian in this thing would be good enough, because it would be such a vast improvement over what you've seen from JJ. If he comes out and has a QBR of 80, it's going to be almost double what you've seen out of JJ McCarthy. So he just needs to come out and let the offense look a little bit like what we saw last year with Sam Darnold and playing Darnold in this game, right? Which, I mean, this game has massive implications for Seattle. They are not going to come out and take this Vikings team lightly. And I think they're going to look to kind of step on their neck early. They're going to get that running game going. So you have to have an answer for that. You have to be able to put some points on the board in that first half and show this Seattle team that, you might be out of it as far as the playoffs go, but there's a lot of pride and there's a lot of fans around the world and, especially at home in the Twin Cities that still believe in their team and are still spending money and attention watching this football team. You have to show up with some pride and to play that way. Nobody wants to see a team quit.
Yeah, no. I remember when we had Christian Ponder, and like I kind of feel like that. Kind of feels like that time. Wanting to spend the money to go to the Vikings game, but just knowing like, it's probably not worth the money right now. But it's amazing how you can go a touchdown or two, 150 yards. If JJ has that just because of where he's picked, you're like, it's all right. But for Brosmer, being an undrafted free agent, he has that game. People are like, it's pretty good. So it's just funny how all that plays out just because of circumstances, where someone was picked and, a high draft pick and kind of left over trash no one wanted. But he's a gopher. I always liked him. I thought he should have been number 2 quarterback from the start, but that's why we brought Carson Wentz in. So he doesn't have to go out there and show or be a superstar or anything, but just play within himself. Just play decent.
Yeah, and if he does play decent, it sets the table for a crazy, crazy end to the season, especially if JJ clears protocol this week and it becomes a lot of drama, which if you're not going to have good football, you might as well have some drama and some controversy to talk about. It gives guys like me and Rob something to discuss on our shows, right? Like we still have to create content around this team. Friggin' help us out.
Really.
Rob, what do you think we're going to see out of Max today? Are your expectations pretty high for the young man, or are you on the other side of the fence with this?
I'm kind of on the other side of the fence. I'm going to take a little bit of a glass half empty approach, but I am hopeful that I'm wrong, because I love going in with expectations low and then somebody exceeding my expectations, because that just makes you feel better naturally. I do think some of the things, and this is a really trivial little thing, but like there's going to be times where if it's a 3rd and short, Max gets the ball, pressure's coming, he might just run and pick up a first down. Whereas at this point in the season, with Kevin O'Connell's play calling and McCarthy, he's trying to make a huge freaking chunk play and stuff on the third and short and whatever, and it falls short, he gets sacked, whatever. I think Max just might tuck it and run and keep drives alive. That's the small little things I'm looking for. There's going to be a difference maker to keep our offense on the field so our defense isn't gassed. And when you got a guy that's in his first game and everything, that's what you get sometimes. And I think that can play to our favor, and I think that can extend some drives and make things go better. Excuse me. Overall, I don't have high expectations, but I will take whatever I can get at this point.
Yeah, I'm with you. Just don't turn over the ball, and I'm fine at this point.
Yeah, let's make sure when we are passing, it's to the right team, and I think that will help us out right there.
I'm trying to read that comment.
What he's saying, number 2, watch
Number 2,
Grenard. Yeah. So Grenard has he actually has kind of an NFL record, 33.5 almost sacks. Right. If he can just bring the guy down, that would help if he plays, or anybody, and Van Ginkel's had injury issues all year. Dallas Turner does Dallas Turner things. I'm not going to complain for where he's at in the second year, but I do want to see execution when we do get the pressure. Let's make sure that we take Darnold down, and we're not just because if you just grab his arm, he gets free, he's going to hit something downfield. So when we get into the backfield, whether it's by a blitz from the linebackers, Josh Metellus, whatever we're doing with Brian Flores' exotic blitzes and everything, we have got to get the guy onto the turf. And that's going to be key for this game too. And Coach, I think you know exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah, well, it's something that we haven't covered a lot today, and I've heard it several times on Purple Daily. Talking about Jeff Okudah just being nothing, right? Like you sign this guy that you think is going to fill a role for you, and you can't even put him on the field, and that changes what Flores is going to do on the defense. So, I think that speaks to a little bit of why you don't see a lot of Ivan Pace on the field anymore, because you don't have 3 cornerbacks that can go out and guard NFL receivers. You're really struggling. Right. Thank goodness for a guy like Metellus that you can kind of move in and out. But all these pieces that were kind of hybrid guys for us last year, because you let one of the best cornerbacks in the league walk away, and they're having a massive year elsewhere now, and you're kind of stuck. And it's been a big problem with this team that I don't think gets talked about enough.
But yeah, we got to get a hold of Sam Darnold and bring him down. Like you said, we got to get sacks. If we get to him, take him down. If he runs and scrambles for like 10 yards, Sam's not a runner, but if he's able to scramble on us, I'm going to be so upset. I'm going to start taking hostages at some point. Like, it's ridiculous. We need Josh Metellus was so huge because you could put him everywhere, and what helped that out was Cam Bynum. When we had Cam Bynum, we had another person that could cover if needed, and that would allow Metellus to drop down and be kind of like that hybrid linebacker. And I trust him a whole hell of a lot more than Pace.
Right. Yeah. And the thing of it is, we let Stephon Gilmore walk after last year. My opinion, Byron Murphy has really regressed. It's not good back there. And, Harrison Smith, this is his last year, regardless. And it's questionable personnel decisions, because what are we going to do at both safety positions next year? I mean, what are we even doing at both safety positions this year, for that matter?
I know.
And then, cornerback is, we already discussed this ad nauseum. There's things that need to be done. And while the Vikings have done a good job of being able to stock up draft picks for next year, my point on my shows yesterday, both of them, was yes, we could do this, we could do that, we could stockpile all these draft picks, but remember one thing: Kwesi Adolfo-Mensah is still taking these draft picks. What good does it do to win the battle of having all these great draft picks, and then if we F every one of them up, where are we at as a franchise?
And I think that's why Kwesi's not here. I think the Wolves are already pretty committed to that. I don't think it's going to happen in season, but I wouldn't expect a Black Monday cleaning house of your GM and possibly that whole scouting department, because you can't F up these 10 picks. You have to hit like 80% on these picks coming, maybe finding a way to get more picks because you are so old on the lay. Another thing that Jer was alluding to, I don't know if we're the oldest team in the division, but we look like the oldest team in the division.
Oh, most definitely.
Right? Look old and slow, especially on the defense right now. And, because of what we were talking about earlier, you have Justin Jefferson in the prime of his career. Addison should be in the prime. It just seems like I haven't seen him really getting open, right? I mean, JJ hasn't had the time to get him. We'll see. Addison has to be a difference maker in the game today for you. But if he can't get open, and you've seen some regression from your wide receiver 2 position, this team's in a lot of trouble moving forward. And I don't think the Wolves have the stomach for a full-scale rebuild, right? So how are you going to rebuild this on the fly when you're already $40 million over the cap for next year? Cuts are going to be made. Like, there's a lot of issues to be solved in the off season here. And it's sad that we're having to talk about it in week 13.
Yeah.
Undeniably.
Yeah, I agree.
Clinton, I think we're ahead of you. We're getting rid of Kwesi right now. A KOC might be on the chopping block if you fail to do anything next year as well. So yeah, in Clinton's opinion, if we do not win a playoff game these next 2 playoffs, which you're not even going to make the playoffs this year, you're going to struggle to make the playoffs next year. I'll bring up Broski Bear, another one of your friends, I'm going to assume, Sir Rocker.
Yes. Broski's a great guy.
Well, that Bears team looked dominant in Philadelphia, and that's a problem. And as someone who spent years watching the Bears, my family's from the Chicago area. I watched that team quit on me last year, and that's why I kind of hung it up. And I've been a fan of this Vikings team with my wife. She's a big Vikings fan. So I've been watching the Vikings team for several years, where last year I was like, I would much rather root for a franchise that doesn't quit. Right. And a fan base that doesn't quit either. Obviously, seeing what the Viking World Order was all about last year at the Whiteout game, and just living in South Dakota, there's not a lot of Bears fans out here anyway. I want to celebrate with someone. Right. So I kind of, but I still consume that content and watch that team. And I mean, I kind of made the comment on your guys' show, Rob, that KOC would have vomited trying to run that play, the play calling scheme that Ben Johnson ran against Philadelphia. They rushed for, I think, 260 yards. Yeah. KOC would have thrown up on his play sheet.
Right. Well, and the thing you can't do, and Coach, you can agree to this, you cannot be run, pass, and hope you get it, and then punt. I mean, you can't do that, but at some point in time, you've got to figure out high percentage pass plays on some first downs and some second downs mixed in there that you cannot F up, right? And the problem is McCarthy was effing them up every time, and that's what stalls you out. You've got to be able to hit on those things, but we do need to commit to the run and stick with it. Our running backs can run. Jones and Mason can get the yards. And if we got to bring in Xavier, whatever his name is, God dang it, I can't remember, and Miles Price even, we can do this on the ground. It's just I don't think Kevin O'Connell's committed to more than 10 or 12 runs a game once things start getting out of hand since the season started. And that's kind of befuddling in and of itself. But then again, when you get down by several scores, you're limited on what you can and can't do as a play caller. I'm not an expert on that. I would really defer to Coach and you on that. But it just seems like I feel like we've had so many times where Aaron Jones has been going and dominating, and then all of a sudden we just quit. when we get in the red zone, and then we end up settling for a field goal and we never get back to it. Is it just me, or are you guys seeing the same shit here? Or stuff? I'm sorry.
No, I'm seeing all that too. And you can't just do the run first down, run second down, hope that your pass play on third down is going to work. You can mix it up. Even pass on first down. Swing pass or short pass that acts as a run. Just get 4 or 5 yards, 3 yards even. Just move the sticks, move the chains. But it's difficult when, there's a few throws that JJ had and he couldn't even get it to the running back in the flats. So
yeah, he has trouble hitting that swing pass, and that just has to make you shake your head as a play caller as well, to give AOC a little bit of grace there.
But and that's what that's why I love coaching is you got to stay on your toes. You got to be able to audible and adjust, account for variable change and stuff. And, sometimes you're going to have to be thrown off your game. Like you said, Aaron Jones is popping off and then we just go away from it. Like we'd never even met the guy. We don't even know if he can run. It does get difficult.
We're top 10 in rush yards per attempt.
Yes. So, that doesn't make sense right there. Why, it's working. Why not keep going with it? Yeah, you might get down, a score or two, but you're still not out of the game. So,
I got a question for you, Coach. And I've been wanting to ask somebody that actually knows football that is coached. When you're in situations that your O-line is obviously getting decimated, it's getting manhandled. Because we see this a lot as Vikings fans, right? We go in, we have a game plan, and it's clear that we cannot physically match up. It's just not going to happen. No matter how much you bring the tight end or CJ Ham up as a fullback to help in blocking, we are getting manhandled on the O-line. So it's going to be a problem. It's you can already see it in the first quarter. It's going to be a problem the whole entire game. And our coaches just cannot seem to make the adjustments necessary. What is the best friend and the best type of play calling you can do to help that quarterback out when you know that you're just screwed for the whole game because we're going to get manhandled and it's not going to change? No halftime speech is going to fix this. These guys are going to get manhandled. What can you do, and what kind of plays can you call for the quarterback, and what can you coach the quarterback to do differently when you know that the guys are coming through and you're going to be under pressure almost every snap back? What type of things can you do to help that quarterback, to help the running back stable, and to help keep, trying to get positive yards when you know that you're outmatched with your O-line?
Well, if that's the case and, everything you're working, your game plan just isn't working, it's not going to work, you have to make changes. If not, then that's the definition of insanity, basically. It's just not going to work. But, going into a game where, there's some weak spots, glaring weak spots, and you can identify them, it just, especially with a rookie quarterback, it's just a lot of mental, just sitting them down, let them know, like, hey, pressure is going to be coming from this side. We already know about this going in, so let's not get down on ourselves and upset when it does happen. Stay calm, and just work within his system, whatever he's comfortable with. Let's rock with it. Let's try to build off that type of thing. Sometimes coaches and players will kind of get thrown off their game and they don't really have a backup plan or anything. And then they start winging it and then everything goes all to hell. So, just setting them down, letting them know, hey, this is what we're going to be expecting. It's going to come. It's not a matter of if, it's when. Don't be surprised when you do see it. And that'll help help prepare him and short passes, get the ball out quick, tosses, if pressure's coming from that left side, you can't necessarily abandon going to that left side, but you just got to get more creative with it. Like you said, adding an extra blocker on that side might not work. You have to keep on being creative. Just keep thinking of ways. Honestly, there's always a way. There's always a way. You just got to find it.
Awesome, right, Coach. Well, I know that you got to get going here. You have to go to work. Yeah.
I gotta go to work and then plow tonight.
Yeah. That's all you do is work, man. And that's why I was so blessed to meet you and to get some of your time and to be able to do this show with you. Couple updates before we get to your prediction for the game. You're going to give it to us live here on the show. Rams just scored a touchdown. They go up 28-24 in that game. So implications there, of course, the Rams are in the NFC West with the Seahawks. And it looks like Grenard is in from what I'm seeing in the Valhalla Sports Hour chat.
Good.
So
okay,
Grenard in, that's a big deal. Kind of slides everybody back on that defensive line into their right positions, gets Van Ginkel off the field a little bit more, gets Dallas Turner moving around and maybe being able to be a little bit more creative. So with that, Coach Cody's prediction for the game today, what do we got, Coach?
I think, unfortunately, in Max Brosmer's first start, I think it's going to be a loss. I'm thinking like a 9-17, 9-21 type of game. Will Reichert still coming up clutch with those field goals. I'm not looking for a touchdown. I'm not expecting a touchdown. If he gets one, sweet, but just the way everything's looking, I think it's going to be a field goal game for us. The Seahawks, like I said, that running game, and Jackson Smith and Njibba, they got some firepower, and Sam Darnold's not afraid to huck it up there. So our defense has got to be ready to play, and we have to tackle. But I'll say 12-17, 9-17. I don't think we're gonna get 4 field goals.
I'm gonna adjust it here then. There we go. There
Coach. We go. Nice,
yeah.
Nice.
Coach, well, I didn't want to ask you ahead of time
right.
for your prediction this week because we've had enough to have to deal with here, right? We encourage all of our fans watching. You guys comment on the YouTube. We'll throw your predictions up here as well. There we go. Clinton Reesig, is that how you say it, Clinton? You'll have to correct me if I'm wrong. 23-13. So yeah, I think I think I might have said 27-13. I think Max gets a touchdown. I think Max throws a touchdown. He gives us the drama that we're looking for in Minnesota, right? We just got to have a reason to watch on Sunday at this point, right? Like if we need something, because if you trot JJ back out there at this point, people are turning the TVs off and finding something else to do with their Sunday. They're going to go Christmas shopping.
Yeah. I already have a couple friends. They're not even watching the game for us. They're like, hey, I want to see how many yards and how many touchdowns Sam throws on us, and it's like that's when you know things are going bad. We're rooting Coach, for the other team's quarterback.
Yeah, Coach. Well, he probably got him on fantasy, right?
Yeah.
Coach, I appreciate your time, man. You taking time with us every week before the game means so much to me. To have your insight and someone to ask the deeper football questions to for fans like Rob and I think it's totally invaluable. Yep. And I think a lot of our fans are going to appreciate that as we continue to do this every single week. And then we were already talking big plans for not just the end of this season, but real big plans for next year to be up there at the VWO tailgates, to do these live at the home games. I love the family that the Viking World Order is. And that's what really attracted me to, the Minnesota Vikings. They were playing good football last year, but it was about what I saw. And even as an opposing team fan, when you come into that tailgate, you're treated like family too. It's all about football and family. And we want to celebrate some wins, but it's nice to have people that you love to commiserate with when you have seasons like this.
Absolutely.
For sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right, Coach, don't work
Definitely.
too hard today. We appreciate your time. We'll see you soon.
See ya. SKOL
Yep.
Vikes.
And
Go Vikes, bro.
I'm going to get heading into the American Legion here pretty shortly and everything, but definitely enjoyed meeting you, Bubba. It's one of the highlights of my year so far, and I love what you got going on here. I love your passion for football in general, and also with everything we do to support veterans and try to prevent veteran suicide, and that means so much to me. And your heart is so in the right place with what you're doing, and can't thank you enough for what you've done so far, and then with making these connections and a great vision moving forward. You're just a great person, and thank you very much for having me on today.
Yeah, I appreciate that. And I'm actually going to roll our VWO tailgate coverage for the next half hour so that everybody watching can kind of see in person what it was like. I was there for the Ravens game. I was there for the veteran red carpet rollout that you guys did. So last week we ran it at the end of the game. Panthers just scored again. They're up 30-28 now. Little update on the score there. Keep turnovers. So I get one last comment on here from our fans. Clinton, thanks for tapping in with us. We appreciate everybody watching. Rob, Sir Rocker, I can't wait to continue doing stuff like this with you guys. I'm really looking forward to being a part of your coverage of the team on Saturdays and checking out your shows over there. This weekend was a little busy with the holiday, and I had my oldest boy. That's actually why I'm on the road today, is taking my boy back over to his mom's house in Western South Dakota. So I'll be on the road for the next 6 hours, traveling around, listening to the game. But thank you for coming on with us. I had a blast chatting with you and getting your takes, and you tell the rest of the crew, man, that we'd love to have them on too. And thanks for being on the show.
Will do. You have a great, blessed rest of your day and a great weekend, and we'll see you again next week.
All right. We are walking in for the Vikings. Have a good one, Rob. We're going to let it roll, and we'll see you here, all presented next by week. Experience Hospitality. This is going to be a great time, y'all. Let's flip the camera around and check this out. Great vibes here, always. We got former players stopping through all the time. A bunch of great people. The Viking World Order are here. Obviously, we have Sir Death, Darth Viking I've seen around. Lady Persia's painting faces in the tent. Awesome vibe down here. I absolutely love these people and these parties that they put on. So it's about 9:15 here in the morning right now. Already a lot of people here milling out. This place will continue to fill up until game time when everyone heads over to US Bank. Look at the location of this place. Look at this. I mean, we are a block from the entrance to the stadium. So as soon as it is up and ready and open, we will be making our way over there as well. A great day here. I'm gonna flip the camera back around and take you guys through and show you some of the amazing people that are here. Awesome. Everybody staying warm? Everybody's dressed up. We got buzz balls. We are good to go, huh?
Oh, nice.
Just want to let everybody know we will have a red carpet rollout for veterans in 15 minutes at 9:30. Thank you.
Awesome. You heard it here. Red carpet rollout for our veterans. We appreciate our veterans. This is a military appreciation game with Veterans Day being in just a few days. So really, really stoked to see everybody. I love the way the NFL supports our veterans, and you know it's obviously. So.
I love this. I was looking at you online. I'm like, I wish I had that. I know. Well, yeah.
Some great traditions here. Love the family that is the Viking World Order.
Little Vikings outfit.
We got the Raven Shredder here. Yes, sir.
Since I was 18 years old. Season ticket holder since 2009. Okay. We gotta get things set up. It's a little cold. It is a little cold, yeah. I'm worried. I think I have on too many layers. Once I get in there.
Awesome. Get some great wares here. This man's at every single game. He follows the Viking World Order around. Some awesome custom pieces. All kinds of great stuff. Handmade. Incredible.
I was in here talking
man,
for a little bit.
So cool.
But yeah, I'll give you a call and I'll
Unbelievable.
order one of these
Handmade,
cups.
just
Order a drinking one.
every single one's a custom, one of one, right? Like it's a whole different setup. We were here for the Whiteout game last year, and these are all new ones all the time. I don't remember him having any of the like male vests before. Those are badass. Well, he might have been sold out already too. You never know. I imagine those take quite a while to make. Don't slap those together overnight. All right, check out Steiner.com. A great part of the Vikings World Order tailgate is all the people around the tailgate. It's the family. And continue to fill in here, and we're going to do a red carpet rollout in about 15 minutes, so I'll be staying live for all of that. Yeah, great times here. So cool to be a part of this and to have an invitation to come and take part and to capture these moments. I'm truly appreciative to the Viking World Order crew. And yeah, look forward to doing a lot more of this with everybody in the future. So many friends that we made here last year, here again. And it's really it's just a fun time. It's a great time out here. Still don't know if we're going to make it into the game or not. Looking forward to it if we do. But for me, it was really about just capturing this vibe with everyone and showing this to all of our fans and friends and what it is really here. Yes, it's about football, but it's about family. And I think that's what's so important to me to capture, and especially on Military Appreciation Day, to be able to do this is just a really incredible experience for me. We have some of our OCVS coasters with us, so be looking to spread a few of those around with everybody. And yeah, appreciate you guys. Stay tuned. I'm going to stay live here today because I don't know how long Facebook is going to let me continue to do this, but yeah, we're live here checking it out. Yeah, beautiful. Beautiful setup here. Beautiful setup. All right, I'm going to turn it around. You guys can watch. Awesome. Got our coasters out here. I'm actually going to keep one of those in my pocket, a couple of them, for some friends. Got all kinds of good eats here. Chili, chicken wings. How you guys doing? Fantastic. Ooh, we got some good cornbread there too to go along with it. Fantastic. Nobody parties like the Viking World Order, that's for sure. Man, the smells here. Incredible. Oh man, those chicken wings smell delicious. Hell yeah.
You looking for me?
Got to get it stretched out at the tailgate so you're ready in the stadium, huh? You don't want to pull a peck when you're in there. Awesome. Well, we got the veteran red carpet. It's going to be rolling here in about 5 minutes. We're going to stay live right here on the Facebook page. I'm doing good. Viking weather, huh?
Back when they were playing over at Minnesota Stadium, 17 below.
Sounds like South Dakota weather.
Beer frozen in your hands.
Had to have hand warmers to keep the beers above freezing. I love it. Right, so it's just frozen. That's a tough one. That's a tough look.
I think that was against the Jets.
Yeah, I bet they weren't too excited about that. Really looking forward to this veteran red carpet rollout. That's really cool. Very cool. We were at the whiteout game last season for Monday Night Football. That was pretty incredible experience. Our first time meeting the Viking World Order, and yeah, just became friends with everybody online ever since, and amazing vibe. What a great family to be a part of.
So who are you with then?
I have a award-winning podcast called The Scene Project. A division of that is the Scene Project Sports Network. So kind of out here covering it for the Sports Network today, and going live on our Facebook a little bit and capturing some of the vibe, and yeah, put together a nice little promo video to show everybody what it really means, right? Yeah, it's about football. Yeah, we're drinking beers, but it's about family, man. And the VWO perfectly exemplifies what football and family means. So really happy. I just happened to be in town playing some other shows, and I kind of planned it around here. I knew there was a home game, so a little bit of dirty work in there, but really excited to be here. I also work with a nonprofit called Operation Combating Veteran Suicide. So to be here specifically, knowing it was the Veteran Appreciation Game, yeah, hoping, I didn't know exactly what they had going on, but I assumed that VWO would have some kind of veteran thing going on. So yeah, really happy to be here, capture this moment, and yeah, share it with our fans back in South Dakota and around the world. So. Oh, awesome. Bubba, Startz. Nice to meet you. I live down in Tyndall.
Okay.
Yep.
That was part of what I worked for Dock and Door Equipment. That was
Okay.
part of my territory.
Yeah.
I was trying to think of the gas station though, but I retired in 2000.
Yeah, so the big one down there is Frank's Trading Post.
Yeah, that's it.
Yep. Yes, sir. Awesome. Yeah, and that's the thing for me is that, you know, there's a lot of South Dakotans that are Vikings fans. So being able to come up here, you know, a lot of our fans obviously are friends of mine. I'm live on my Facebook right now where, you know, several thousand people are watching, you know, seeing the replays mostly. Not necessarily live with us right now, but yeah, to show them what you can see up here. I know a lot of people come up for games, and really want them to, if they do come to a game, come to this tailgate, right? Come meet some more family in here, and to be part of this scene. And you know, obviously Sir Death has a huge following, and but this is special. This is really special, and I'm just happy to be here and to share in the experience.
The Viking history starts with the very first game in Sioux Falls.
Really?
August 5th, 1961.
Really?
And that's how I was 11 years old.
Yeah. I didn't realize they had played a game in Sioux Falls ever. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, Howard Woods Field played the Dallas Cowboys.
No kidding. I did not know that.
So
Very
anyway,
cool.
At that time, I had a decision. I could be a Dallas fan or a Vikings fan.
Right.
And my kids said,
Dallas might have won a few more Super Bowls, but this one's easier to get to, right?
Yeah. So anyway, yeah.
That's fantastic. What was your name?
Donovan Cost.
Donovan Cost. Oh, Bubba Startz. Nice to meet you.
Oh, great turnout. So,
Yeah, this is great. This is great.
started off with a Facebook page. We were Viking fans.
Really?
And then it morphed into this.
Incredible. Yeah, I love it. I think it's a great vibe. I love what you know, VWO represents, and just the like I said, the family nature of it's just too cool.
Well, nice meeting you.
You too. Pleasure.
All of our veterans that are getting honored today go ahead and make their way over toward your
Are you
chairs.
selling the patches?
We'll get things rolling as soon as we can get everybody assembled. Thank you.
Are you selling the patches too? Fundraiser? $10? Yeah, I love it. So I work with a nonprofit, Operation Combating Veteran Suicide. I set some of our coasters on the table there as well. I would love to buy one of those. My money's in my pocket, but you just have a couple left. Can I take one from you? Here. Awesome. My hands are so cold. Do you have change? Actually, just take a 20. Yeah, I'll take 2. Yeah. We'll find somewhere to put them. You can just take it all. I can't feel my fingers. Awesome. What's your name? Laurel. Thank you. Lady Rel, she has these awesome Lady Legion patches. We bought a couple here to support the red carpet rollout for veterans here. We're at the VWO tailgate. Incredible, guys. We just love it so much. Anything we can do to support our veterans, obviously. And I love what the VWO does for all of this. I made it as hard as possible for you. It's so I don't lose it.
I know, no, I get it. I've never come to the US
Awesome.
Stadium without losing something. I lost my driver's license.
I'm trying really hard not to today.
Like debit card once, I lost a credit card in there.
Well, thank you so much for what you're doing. I'm glad I caught you before that. I'm Bubba Startz. We have an award-winning podcast called The Scene Projects that we're here covering the event with. So awesome. Yeah, we're going to capture the moment here. So
I call bullshit!
all right, this is the red carpet rollout for our veterans here. It's the Military Appreciation Day, Veterans Day coming up in just a few days. Operation Combating Veteran Suicide posters. Honoring our veterans here today. An incredible experience here.
Why you just go to this guy here? I'm a Indian.
Thank you.
All right, we're going to start this ceremony in about 3 minutes. Thank you.
He's one of my closer friends.
Now that you wobbled always just get hard work.
Fit in.
Yeah, DeSantos, I am, man. Come see me at the fashion show, Smoking on the Runway tonight, 4 o'clock, over at the Hook and Ladder. I'll be here at the tailgate, right in the shadow of U.S. Bank until the game, and then we'll see if I hit the game or not. This is the red carpet rollout for our veterans, members of the Viking World Order. Really awesome vibe here. I appreciate being a part of this and getting to capture these moments with everybody. It's a great vibe out here today. It's been pretty incredible.
Come on. You gotta be. That's a good fucking goal, yo. That's the best goal in the They are. I mean, I've had some
here to honor some veterans today. Veterans, who are they? Fathers, sons, sisters, brothers, mothers, neighbors. Veterans come from all walks of life, race, religions, and nationality. Many have varied reasons for serving, as varied as the sands on the seashore, yet all chose to be a part of something bigger than themselves and basically write a blank check to the nation they love, up to and including, as Abraham Lincoln so eloquently stated, the last measure of devotion. Why should we honor veterans? Firstly, it's the right thing to do, and secondly, not all vets were honored in the history of this nation. During the Vietnam War, approximately 2.7 million men were served. Over 58,000
I was protecting it.
Many of them were not welcomed when they came home. Many of them had to take off their uniforms in airport bathrooms. They faced societal anger from a generation that was unable to, at that time, separate the war from the war fighters, and they suffered in silence. For all Vietnam vets here, including the old man from the Viking World Order, if you've never heard publicly,
I don't think there's going to be much you can do about that without blowing out everybody up front.
You won the battles you were asked to fight, and may we all resolve today to never treat our generation of veterans like the Vietnam veterans were treated. Thank you. It is said that freedom isn't free, and above the entrance of every VA hospital it says the price of freedom is visible here. However, not all rules are visible. For each veteran, bears an own burden based on their own unique experience of loss, sacrifice, trauma, and service. It's their burden to bear, and they bear it. Silently, stoically, until they no longer can. Some reach out for help, others don't, and that's why we're here. We're here to honor these vets. There's a number, 22 a day. 22 a day is average veteran suicides in the United States. 1 a day is a tragedy. 22 a day is a disaster. However, my message today is a message of hope. The hope for a future where we don't have to live like this. Today we have assembled as human beings who are united by a common cause, our love of football and of our respective teams. But we are also united in our support for those who have enabled us to enjoy these luxury items like a tailgate setup, like game tickets, by their service, sacrifice, and efforts to keep us free. So we pause today to recognize them for their outstanding service. For all veterans who may be bearing a burden today, know this, you're not alone. And these people gathered here today are here because they care about you, your service, and your well-being. Today, we specifically honor Sergeant Promotable Retired Jason Weaver of U.S. Army.
Yeah!
Staff Sergeant and Drill Sergeant Eric Gurecki, retired U.S. Army.
Yeah!
Sergeant First Class retired Ron Latson, U.S. Army.
Yo!
Chief Warrant Officer Rick Conklin, U.S. Army.
Yo!
Corporal David Henry, United States Marine Corps. Happy birthday, Marine.
Yo!
And Specialist Ryan Knaus, U.S. Army.
Yeah!
We also posthumously are honoring Staff Sergeant Ralph S. Guck, killed in action, Vietnam. For these people and for all of our veterans here today, we appreciate you, we support you, and we love you. God bless you, and God bless the United States of America. I now ask that everyone stand and face the flag. Today's national anthem is going to be performed by Miss Cheryl Pendleton.
Yay!
All right.
Just a reminder to please remove your hats. By the dawn's light, so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts
saved us, that star-spangled banner yet wave. O'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Yeah!
SPSN.